Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
This next episode that we are airing is just going to be incredible.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
And you know why I know it's incredible?
How's that?
Some people have listened to it and they have loved it.
Whoa. It doesn't even come out till Sunday at 4 o'clock Eastern.
Well, for our subscribers, they get it 48 hours in advance, and some of them have already listened to it and loved it.
Well, you want to hear who those people are?
Let's.
Franklin Johnson, Alex Bell, Barbara Sharp, Mandy Johnson, ding, 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 new for this month, Gary Vaughn, Kip Uthold, Joe Grammer, and Dennis Keeler.
That is awesome.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, what's up?
Guess what I found on my local liquor store just the other day?
There's a kind of adventure you only find when you're not in a hurry. This is Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. Stories from the open road where routes are questionable, the stops are intentional, and leisure isn't a reward, it's the plan. If you're looking for speed, well, you're lost. But if you're looking for laid-back adventure, good stories, and even better company, welcome home.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to one of my favorite times, being with my good friend, Mr. Michael Sharp, all the way across the United States and Central Time. Once again, I am Adam. We are Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. Michael, thank you so much for joining me once again, buddy.
Absolutely. Happy to be here as always and spend a little bit of time with you. I went through a little bit of withdrawal since the tour when we were doing it like every day, and now we're back to our regular rotation. So it's been a week or so.
Yeah, because you got a job, and now you can't you had some time before, now you don't have the time.
Well, that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah. I won't lie. I was asked the other day, was it difficult to do it every day? And there were times where it's like, oh man, it's did I catch up on all the news? I won't lie, I was using AI to feed me any news stories, give me an update. And so it was really cool. I actually got to learn a lot about some of these AI programs, because I would say anything that you find. So when we would have some of the shortening of the routes or something special, it was sending me. So it was kind of cool to watching, the alerts and stuff. And every now and then it did become like, okay. And then a couple of times I was worried about when you were traveling, which, by the way, if I take a family vacation, I mean, what a perfect time before starting a job. I think that's normal, where people are like, well, I start on Tuesday. I have a week and a half. I might as well take a vacation. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking with you. I remember the one day you were driving down the freeway just trying to find Wi-Fi anyway. But we made it work. It was cool. But yeah, I remember the first night after we finished the 20-something shows or whatever, it was like, hey, do you want to just get on and talk about nothing? So,
yes.
So, well, hey, listen, I've been looking forward to this. A little busy this week. Guess where I was?
Oh boy. You were at yet another conference.
Yes, sir.
Talking about public transportation.
Well, not only talking about public transportation, but this time I was a speaker. I was nominated back on the board of Michigan Public Transit. I am happy in my second year on the board. I'm excited about that. So you, sir, are getting together with a 2-time board member.
Wow. So what is even more fun than going and talking about transportation? Setting through a speech by Adam about public transportation.
Luckily for the listeners, I was on a panel of 4 and there was only 1 hour. So if you do the math, I really only had about 15 minutes to talk.
No. You're on a panel of 2 here. We only do about an hour and you speak like 80% of the time.
Where is that button? Oh gosh, there it is. I was wondering where my sensor button was. Yeah, we did a session, which actually was pretty cool because the audience, I felt like, I'm I'm going to date myself here. Phil Donahue, since no one knows who that is. Ricky Lake, since no one knows who that is.
I know who both those people are.
Dr. Phil. No, our session that we did was what I wish I would have known about transportation before taking the job as being a leader in transportation. And it went over very well. There was lots of, audience questions, and then we had some canned questions. And so one of the things I said that kind of blew the audience away is some of the most difficult conversations I've ever had is nothing to do with about transportation. These, when you are managing people, some people will, the proverbial breakfast club, empty their purse on your desk and just like, I got something to tell you. And then I'm like, brother, I don't believe I'd told me that. So,
didn't need to know that as your employer.
That's right. But yeah, we had a golf outing. We were in 4th place, so that was cool. Came in at 10 under, which if anyone does a golf outing, that's really not a lot. There's, mulligans and it's a fundraiser. But speaking of golf outing,
you played golf, huh? At a conference. Okay.
That's something I've never done before. Speaking of golf outing,
I just want to say,
yes.
Next time I'm up Michigan way, I expect to see public transportation like I've never seen it before. That's what I expect.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to tell you we've had a record-breaking year.
Actually, we actually are having a record-breaking year. So,
well, that's great. Your aunt took 3 more rides than she did last year, right?
Oh my gosh, you are such a transportation fuddy-duddy. I mean,
no, I'm just like, every time I'm like, yeah, I'm at a conference. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, oh man, I just got through playing 18. It's like, I thought you were at a conference.
Do you know how much work gets done on a golf course?
What's that?
Do you know how much work gets done on a golf course?
I know how much work can get done on a golf course. I don't know around transportation how much gets done on it.
Oh, yeah. I think what you're missing is a bus. If you upfit a bus, what if I told you to upfit a bus with all the equipment? It's an additional $30,000 per bus.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. But what's that? What do you have to chat about on the golf course about that?
Negotiating all those pieces and parts that go in those buses, like electronics, radios.
So did you get the contract signed on the course?
No, but it got the conversation started. And of course, the vendor is there.
Well, the sales guy was there. He was going to start the conversation, whether you were going to talk about it or not.
You are not wrong about that. We were on the second hole. And he goes, listen, I know we're having fun playing golf. I'm like, we're not having fun yet. We're like 2 holes in. We're having fun when we're a few holes in. Relax. I haven't had a beer yet. And he's like, well, how's them cameras?
Yeah, exactly. I just bought your golf, so guess what? We're talking whatever it is that I'm trying to sell you.
Well, that's like what a golf cart is. It's just a rolling trap of what you have to listen to.
Oh, yes. Well, when you accept the invitation to play golf, you have just stepped into his office. So
normally, we'll get moving on the show here, but normally you're not wrong. The golf outing is a very strategic. So you don't get to a lot of times be like, hey, Michael's here. I'd like to play with Michael. It's okay. You go with the camera guys, you go with the radio guys, you go with, and it doesn't matter their playing ability or whatever. It's just, hey, they think that you should, as a
you need our cameras or our radios. So you're going with that guy.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. I know how I was in the sales financial field for a long time, way back when. And I know how the whole sales thing works. It's like, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I promise you, I'd like to just tell this one story. We were 2 holes in and he said, so how are your cameras? And I said, well, pretty good. There's a few things. Sometimes we have sound issues. Now, just to let you know, they're on cellular and we're in a very rural area. I live in a larger part of the county or city. I mean, we have, pavement and everything. But if you go literally 5-6 miles, it is gravel roads and a lot of trees, a lot of hills. And so the cameras are all cellular based. Well, of course, now they're like, well, that's because you use, I don't know, I'm just going to fill in the blank. That's because you use AT&T. The county does not use AT&T, but that's because you use AT&T. Our routers, they're dual, and then it's always like the next upcoming. Oh, if you had ours, it would automatically switch over and there's no lag time. I said, so let me get this straight. I said, if I bought your router and you're telling me there would be absolutely zero switchover, and I think it's how you asked the question, because then he said, well, there is a few seconds there that you would lose. I said, no, hold on. You said there was no. He said, well, once you get service. I said, I see how you did that. Anyways, it was kind of one of those conversations. So then at the very last hole, he said, so you want to sit down and talk about these cameras? And I said, well, I need a shower. And then I'm going to eat, and then maybe we can discuss it. And he said, okay, that's a no. Thank you so much. So, but there's a lot more that happens. I just gave you one example. But, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what happened. We had a good time. Very, very, very positive news in the Michigan. If you are lucky enough to be listening to us from Michigan, just know that there's going to be a huge movement in the association, joining as one force, fighting the good fight for more local bus operating. Anyways.
And now is the time to advertise for the local Ford dealership where you can buy your own car.
Sure. Hurry. Step right up. Come on up for your brand new Ford. All right. Anyway, so now there's me. Now let's talk about you. How is the new JOB?
Just doing training.
Okay.
I've got just all these videos that I'm just like sitting through, trying to wade through and just sitting in meetings. So I'm just pretty much listening and trying to absorb all this stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So a lot of just sitting in the background, trying to figure all of this out, because business architecture is never the same in any shop. So, I mean, this place has got their procedures down. I mean, it's a very mature organization, but, trying to get it figured out and how they do things is always a challenge, but we're getting there.
Training is very important. As a small side note, do you know the average cost to the employer, national average employer, of onboarding and training a new employee?
I have no idea.
$7,000. So training is extremely important. And while I know that you give me a hard time, which I appreciate, otherwise I wouldn't think you were yourself. I would think that you weren't feeling well. So I do study those things, because turnover is one of my most expensive pieces in transportation. So training is important.
Next to going to conferences.
Oh, my God. All right.
It's going to be a long show.
Wow. We're 12 minutes in, and you're like, I'm just kidding. Actually, Ed was only like 6 minutes in. So, Maya, let's talk about something near and dear to your heart. Tell us, how is school going for your daughter?
It's second week. Things are going really well so far. We went last week and met all of our teachers. They have this open house thing where you get to meet the teachers and that kind of thing.
Nice.
And so far so good. She's doing, enjoys her classes and is doing a good job. And today she just received her academic letter from last year. So I was like, wow, that's cool.
Very nice.
She was doing well. I didn't know she was doing that well, but so yeah, it's going well. At the beginning of school year, it's always like, is it going to be a good school year? Is she going to like her teachers and all that? Because that all plays in. But yeah, things are going well. And she seems to be enjoying it. And it's now marching band season. So she's on the baton team. They perform with the band. So they've got that going on. So we'll be attending football games here shortly to watch her performance.
On behalf of Adam
and Michael,
we both want to say thank you
for your support.
Did you take the proverbial porch picture? Like, hey, first day of school?
Always. Do the porch picture. Yeah, you have to.
That's the one thing when I'm scrolling through my social medias. It's like, oh, look, this is Susie when she was a kindergarten, and now she's in, whatever grade or whatever. So there we go.
Okay.
Golf outing. Let's talk about golf real quick, and then we'll get it off the list. Unless you have something for golf, but
I actually do have something for golf, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. This is the golf outing. Received a couple of messages asking some questions. Last show, I put a call to action about if we had a golf outing. And there's a few questions on the table, which is, how much, what day. Right now, I believe I looked earlier this morning. I think we have the reservation from the 13th of January through the 19th. Now, that was just kind of booked as a generalization. I think it depends more on your schedule, and you won't really know that until closer to the time, correct?
That's correct, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the thing about it is I do work remotely, so I have some leeway as far as that goes. So, but yeah.
So I also will probably do some work there just because it's a little bit of couple projects are due at that time, but we'll work it out. I mean, if financially I went on Golf Now and just did a few courses around Disney, we know if we golf at Disney, that's going to be 110. I mean, that's crazy. And we don't think that's not the idea.
What about that course we golfed at last year? That was a nice course.
That was
not expensive.
No, it was. I mean, because what I'm looking at is if we're going to tie it into a golf outing where we have golf and then we have dinner afterwards, like if someone wanted to have dinner, that's why I'm looking earlier. If we played golf later in the day, we could take advantage of the price break. Now, but if we play in the morning, we're looking around $50. So, and that was a really nice executive course and very clean. I mean, has a bar where you could get cocktails to go. It was heck, I thought there was executive offices in the building. So
kind of looked that way, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did. But
you probably will have to run by that one house that you dented their roof last time, and their dog wouldn't let you get the ball back. But other than that, it was a great course.
Yeah, no, fine. I mean, no problem whatsoever. I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to need to put my hat down next time we go by. With the cameras, the way they work on, your Ring cameras and everything. Okay, store this picture.
They've got AI searching out every golfer. Is that the guy? Is that the guy?
If he comes back, we want to know. So, that guy's at work. Last year's guy, ding, 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 ding. There, he's on hole. I gotta go home.
I gotta hit.
Yeah. Well, listen. I mean, not every time you hit the ball is perfect, unless you're like a pro or something. But, anyways, so if you do have the interest, reach out to us. We'd like to put it together. I'm sure if you even have to drive for a way, there's hotels. I mean, it's not that bad. You could go. Obviously, our timeshare is at Disney, and that was where we'd stay. But doesn't mean you have to stay there. But we can definitely get a reservation. We can even eat off property. It doesn't have to be at Disney. I don't care. I mean, if we can get something together with a bunch of people, that's what we just wanted to do. So, just wanted to mention that.
Or if you don't want to golf and you just want to show up and have dinner with us, we can do that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not a golfer.
Well, and many
I play
people,
once a year. That's about it.
Now, what's funny about that is you do always kind of like joke about yourself, and then after about the third hole, you're shooting it right down the middle. You should play more often.
I should. Maybe I'll start doing that. I keep telling myself I got to start playing because if I started playing, I would be better, obviously. But yeah, we'll see.
You got that Topgolf next to you too. You could go there and practice before coming down.
I could, and I should.
Exactly.
We'll see.
It's heated. It's heated. I know it'll be cold in January, but it's heated there.
Yeah. I mean
it's an hour behind me, but that's okay. That's not important.
Coat. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, no problem. The heat works there. Hey, listen, I'm going to bring the show down for a little bit. I'm going to talk about 4 bike things, but I don't think we can be a cycling podcast without talking about them.
This is the college team from Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going to start
yesterday.
I'm going to start with that. Okay. And then I've got Finlay Tarling, who was the pro at the Volta. And then we've got one of our own teammates who was in a bike accident on a rail trail. So, So this is, I saw the guy in white and red jail. It's funny how that guy in Arizona had pink, outfits for the person who was arrested.
Maricopa County.
Yeah, Maricopa County. That's right. I just remember Maricopa County from all the political things. They just kept talking about Maricopa County and all over and over. But yes, that sheriff did pink. In Livingston County, where I live, they do orange. And then on this guy in Tennessee, it was white and red. And this is a 69-year-old guy. If you haven't heard this is going to really make you upset. I'm going to just read the story. It says the affidavit said that this gentleman, 69-year-old John Benfield, 69, of Newland, North Carolina, was charged with 2 counts of vehicle homicide by recklessness and 5 counts of aggravated assault by vehicle recklessness. Law enforcement has not commented on the intent, and nothing filed alleges that he was deliberate. So this gentleman, just if you haven't seen this, unfortunately, ran into an elite cycling college team, and 2 members were killed. It said 11 members of the Milligan University cycling team were on a morning training ride along Highway 19E near Simmerly Creek Road in the Hampton area of Carter County when they were struck. Sophomores Hayland and Winthrop and Braden were pronounced dead at the scene. 7 other riders were taken to Johnson City Medical Center. 2 of them airlifted. 4 were listed in critical condition. 2 were stabilized, and 1 was treated and released by the same day. Carter County District Attorney General Stephen Finney emphasized that they were not casual riders. He described them as an elite team that rode in the proper peloton, noting one of the riders had won a local race the previous weekend. The Milligan men's team won the team time trial, the USA Cycling Collegiate Road Nationals in Wisconsin in May. Olympian Megan rode for the women's team before turning pro. What happens next? Benfield was taken into custody at the Carter County Jail. Prosecutors said additional charges are possible as the investigation continues, and the Tennessee Highway Patrol is still working to determine exactly what happened. They did do toxicology results, and if the toxicology results come back and show evidence as a change of picture, that the charges could then change after the toxicology results are released. So, the vehicle ahead of him changed lanes. He failed to observe the group, and he was traveling. He was following too closely. He didn't have sufficient time or distance, and there was reportedly no physical evidence that he braked or took evasive action. So,
wow,
just so frustrating. If you see the picture of these 2 young kids, they look, I know I'm 50 and I get it, but they look like young kids. Whole life ahead.
They're sophomore. The one was a sophomore. He's probably 19.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yep. Unfortunate. So, and that was on Wednesday, August 19th. And then on August 14th, a pro, Finlay Tarling, at the Volta in Portugal, he was fatally hit. Finlay Tarling was a 19-year-old Welsh rider competing in the NSN development team. He raced for Great Britain on both road and track. He was the younger brother of Josh Tarling, and the net company Ineos. Is that how you pronounce that?
Ineos.
Thank you so much. The 2023 European time trial champion. Tarling was killed during stage 8 of the 2026 Volta, Portugal, on the 167-kilometer route. The collision occurred on N306 road linking, I don't know if I'm the best person to read this, but I'll try. Paradis de Cora with Ponte de Lima in the parish near Lima River. He was struck by a light goods vehicle that was not part of the race convoy. Early Portuguese reports suggested that a member of the public had made a U-turn on the course and hit him head on, and subsequent investigation produced a different and more detailed account. The investigation found that the van was waved onto the road by a bystander who mistakenly believed all riders had already passed. No police were in the immediate vicinity. A GNR lieutenant said that the driver stopped at the access road, watched the peloton go by, then was waited briefly, and then asked bystanders whether the race was over. They told him that the last rider had gone through. Tarling was riding alone in the back of the race as a chaser, descending fast enough that the GNR support car couldn't even keep up with him. Investigators are examining the position of the broom wagon, the vehicle that signals the rear of the race has passed. No alcohol or drugs were found in the driver's blood. He is not expected to face criminal charges, though an investigation remains open. The stage was neutralized with 23 kilometers remaining, and the podium ceremony in FAFE, F-A-F-E, was canceled. The NSN development team withdrew from the race the following day. The remaining stages were run with a minute of silence, and the leader's jerseys was changed from yellow to black. Tributes came from the Portuguese president, British cycling, and riders across the sport. A GoFundMe tributes young Welsh riders raised more than 50,000 euros. The international riders, upon the CPA, issued a statement expressing anger that the accidents of this kind can still occur. And then
come on. That is just a failure in the organization, the right organization. I mean, there should never have been anybody allowed on there. And I know he was waved on by a bystander. Number one, the bystander shouldn't be waving anybody on. But I just wonder where the police and all that kind of stuff was. That's terrible.
And one that is nowhere near as tragic, but could have been, is a gentleman that was on our Bragg 2023 team, Tyler Carpenter. Longtime follower of ours, very, very good friend of the show. And he was in the the 2026 official Bragg cycling jersey. He was on a rails to trails, following behind. There was some debris on the trail. Unfortunately, the rider in front of him somehow got a stick caught in between his front wheel. That rider went down. And then, unfortunately, our friend Tyler Carpenter went over his own handlebars, landed on the chain ring of the other bike, bruised up pretty bad. He and his wife were unfortunately in a crash. I'm happy to tell you that, their pride and bruising and soreness are going to be okay. But the riders in front of them have some cracked ribs, cracked teeth. And so luckily everyone's going to be okay. But just wanted to mention that one of our very own community members was also, and normally we don't like to talk about this kind of stuff, but I think from Michael and I, our goal is just to bring some attention to, just please pay attention out there, give some extra space. We always see people following way too close. Our own good friends have had some issues. Just please stay safe. So, that's kind of our mention. So, and we have some more. We'll bring the show back up. Don't worry. My God,
I'll bring the show back up.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, Adam's brought it down. I will bring it back up.
Well,
and, are we gonna do a listener spotlight?
Well, yeah, I think we should. But
I didn't know if you were gonna keep bringing us down, or if we could, talk.
That's what I'm telling you about. We've got some good stuff here. I want to just talk about those things before now. Now we're going to give you this here.
You're clipped in and you're dialed in. You ride along with us every spin. Side to side. It's your moment now. Listener spotlight. Take a bow.
All right, Michael, give us the guesses.
All right. Listener spotlight. The clues last episode are as follows. The town was not named after.
Oh,
let me get the correct one here.
You need the song again?
What's that?
You need the song again?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't need the song again. I just need to get the right page brought up here. The town started out as an agricultural community. It was incorporated in the mid-1800s. The city knows something about cars. It was named for a predominant building. The city was a lifeline for what it brought in and what it sent out. In the mid-1800s, its neighbors decided the city needed to lighten up, and running became a major occupation in the early 20th century.
All right. Now, I have two, count them, not one, but two. Oh, you already know this, but two fan mails came in. Let me give you the first one, which actually isn't a guess, but very important.
Hi, Adam and Michael. This is Melanie, your friend from the Seattle, Washington area and fellow DeBrim wearer. I was listening to last week's episode where Alex Bell incorrectly guessed Black Diamond, Washington for the listener spotlight. I was relieved and happy that he missed it, only for the fact that I commuted through Black Diamond, Washington for many years while listening to Cycling Men of Leisure. And I would have kicked myself had I not gotten clues in an area that I was familiar with. Anyway, keep up the good work. Love the show. Look forward to the next episode.
Well, let's thank Melanie for not only wearing the DeBrim, but sending us a fan mail. Now, Melanie, on a serious note, thank you so much. Yeah. Now, here is an actual guess.
Hey, guys, this is Jeff from Michigan. I just wanted to call in and say that I really enjoyed the shows about the Tour de France. I've never followed Tour de France, but I now am looking forward to the next one. But I've also got a guest for the listener spotlight. My wife and I worked on it last night and came to the conclusion that we believe it's Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Also, today here in Michigan was a great day for a bike ride. I put in about 12 miles on mountain bike trails. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good day.
That's Jeff, who works for me, but still my friend, saved us in Ragbri and the weather that time, and Heather, his wife. So Windsor, Ontario. Wow, you keep picking close places if he's right around me.
Do I?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, the answer for this episode's listener spotlight is, in fact, Windsor, Ontario.
Hey, oh.
Great job, Jeff and Heather. So let me tell you how we got to this. The city was started as an agricultural community incorporated in the mid-1800s. First settlers to the city was in 1749. The city knows something about cars. Windsor is the automobile capital of Canada, which I guess makes sense. It's right across the lake there from Detroit. It was named for a predominant building. It was actually named for Windsor Castle in Berkshire, England. The city was a lifeline for what it brought in and what it sent out. Now, this one here has to do with two different things. Number one, it was one of the final stops for the Underground Railroad during and before the Civil War. Because once you hit Ontario, Canada, woohoo, you're out of the United States, you're free. And 75% of all whiskey illegally brought into the United States during Prohibition came via Windsor. So, and in the mid-1800s, its neighbors decided that the city needed to lighten up. As part of the Upper Canadian Rebellion, 400 Americans ran over and attacked Windsor. They burned a steamboat and a couple of the homes to the ground before being sent back by the Canadian militia. So there you go.
Well, thank you to our community, especially this time Windsor, Ontario. By the way, side note, Windsor, Ontario, I believe was one of the first places that I used to go gambling because my friend Melissa and I used to go there. She was 19 at the time, and you could gamble when you were 19. We'd cross the border patrol there, and they'd ask us our questions and how long you been here and where you been. And if you said casino, they were like, well, you're our friend. Come back anytime because you're donating your money. And so we would go to Tim Hortons, which was right there, and get our coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after like 9/11 and stuff, it became a lot more difficult to cross back and forth. So then Detroit got its casinos. But yes, I used to go to Windsor, Ontario a lot. So,
well, and then the final one I guess I didn't talk about is running became a major occupation in the early 20th century. Obviously, that was rum running during Prohibition. But thank you to all of our listeners from Windsor, Ontario.
Absolutely. Thank you to our 51st state. Oops. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Something more positive is 127,273.
Okay.
That's the amount of downloads that you and I have had, which is just absolutely insane.
Well, yeah, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Did you know, and I actually looked it up because I was curious, less than 1% of all podcasts ever reach the 100,000 download mark.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah. So we have successfully done what 99% of podcasts out there have not been able to do and reach that milestone. So I didn't think it was a big deal. But then when I started doing some research, it was like, okay, that's a little bit bigger deal than I thought it was. So
I think
congratulations, man.
You too, but I think we have something to say. Thank you to our community.
Yes. They're the ones doing it.
We still love doing it. We still love doing it. I mean, I always get asked in my private life, like, does it ever seem like work? Of course. I mean, anytime you do something for a hobby, every now and then, it does seem like, like you. I mean, you have a family, you have children, and there's after school, just like you said, it's about to be, probably football season and marching band season. And so, it's like, okay. And then literally I feel like we're both like schedulers, like, what do you have available? And what do you have available? And so, technically the show, I know this is going to sound strange when you listen to it, but we are recording this on Thursday. And for our premium subscribers, the show comes out tomorrow. And so normally we don't like to wait till the last day, but somebody had to go to a conference.
I know.
All right. Something more positive. You said you got some positive stuff.
Well, as men of leisure, there are many other things that we do other than golf or other than cycling. And one is golf. I've got a little story here I found very interesting. Are you familiar with the Live golfing?
Oh, the Saudi Arabians and how all of the PGA players went over to the Saudi Arabians for money. And now some of them aren't welcome back, while some of them are welcome back. Some of them have to buy their way back in. It is not as successful. They could wear shorts on the Saudi Arabian Live Golf Tour where they couldn't wear. The PGA players had to wear pants. As a golfer extraordinaire, I'm extremely aware.
I figured you were. But anyway, Live golfer Charf Schwartzel learned the hard way during the Live Golf New York at the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster over, I think this has been about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I found this story to be very funny. He teed off a shot, 134 yards. It was a par 3 on the 7th hole. It landed on the green. It's a great shot. But then the ball started spinning backwards and it rolled off towards the water hazard. And just as it rolled off to the water hazard, just before it hit the water, a big old bass hopped out and literally swallowed his golf ball. Had you heard about this?
I have not, actually.
Yeah. So he hits it up there. It gets on the green. It rolls back, drops into the water. And just before it hits the water, this big old bass comes out of the water and just like engulfs the golf ball, takes it and swims off. It was just a crazy thing. And after it, he was like, yeah, bass ate my ball. So when a bass, what's that?
Do you have the outcome of what he got to do? Did he get to re-hit? Did he get to?
No, and that's the thing. You don't get a free mulligan or anything. Golf rules generally say that there is no penalty when there's an outside influence. So you're thinking, okay, that's an outside influence. Here's the caveat. And that outside influence is referenced in the rules as animals. So, you're familiar with Caddyshack. If that little gopher ran out and grabbed your ball and ran, away.
Yes.
You'd get to make up that shot. The problem with it is the ball is ordinarily replaced, but here his ball had already, once it rolled off the green and started to fall into the water, at that point it had left the boundary area, and it had already entered into the penalty zone. So
he got a drop. I mean, not a free drop, but he got a penalty drop.
He had to take a 1-stroke penalty there.
Wow.
and redo it. But I just thought that was a funny. I mean, that's the kind of golf story I want. Yeah, I was hitting it, rolled off, and a bass ate my ball. But no, if the bass would have jumped up on the green, ate the ball, and then jumped back into the water, he would have not had to take the penalty. But he had to take the penalty.
Did you see the Wing Haven fake ace story?
I did not.
Oh, this is just embarrassing. Zach Holland will never, and when I say never, I mean never live this down. If this happened at your local course, what I'm about to tell you, it would only go on so far where people remembered. But with social media, Zach is never living the following thing down. All right, listen to this. Zach Holland, a former college golfer playing off of a 2 handicap, was competing in a member-to-member event in Wing Haven Country Club in O'Fallon, Missouri. Which
we ran through there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Which had a hole-in-one pot. So this is a pot of money where if you get a hole-in-one, you get the pot. And people usually say, okay, well, every time you play it, I'll put $1 in as an example. And then once they have the pot then you get the pot. And he was the first to tee off of the day and knew it in advance. So he knew that he was going off first. How it went down. He told his group before the round that his grandmother was having health issues and he might need to take a call. On the 3rd green, he said the call came, so he'd run ahead, tee off on the par 3, 4th to keep place and meet them on the green. When they caught up, he said he thinned it a little bit and he's not sure where it went. They got to the green, found a pitch mark, which is where the ball hits hits on the green and makes a pitch mark. And the ball was in the cup. They celebrated, but immediately there was skepticism since nobody actually saw the shot. Someone asked the superintendent to pull footage from the maintenance shed near the 4th green. The tape showed him parked near the hole in the early morning, making a pitch mark and then dropping the ball in the cup. He admitted it and resigned his membership. On ESPN, St. Louis said there was no excuse and called it complete stupidity and blamed being upset about giving 2 shots back in the field. And sandbagging sleuth later suggested that the ace was a capstone on the summer of a score manipulation. And the kicker, he insisted he's not a cheater on the golf course. Technically true since he cheated happened before the round.
Still on the golf course, though, but wow.
Yeah. So Zach Holland.
How pathetic is that?
Well, and here's the thing. I saw it on social media. And if I am here in Michigan and saw it on social media, I understand my algorithm. I get it. I understand how the algorithm works. I look at golf stuff. I shop for golf stuff. I'm sure it was fed to me by the algorithm. But if that was fed to me here in my little burg of Michigan, where else do you think it's being fed? So anyways, I thought I would just share that little story with you. So
interesting. No, I hadn't heard that one.
Cheater.
Yeah. I'm not a cheater. Sure you're not. All right. What else we got?
All right. How about, since we usually talk about bourbon, if I do a little show and tell? Earlier in the show, I teased that I found something on the shelf, and this is just insane.
All right. What do you got?
I should talk closer to the microphone. I found Old Fitzgerald bottled and bond on the shelf. Literally walked past it because I had never seen it on the shelf before. And immediately the brain receptors kicked in, the gears aligned, and I could not believe it. And the liquor manager said, I was wondering if you were going to pick that up. And then
7-year rye bottled and bond Old Fitzgerald. Nice.
On the shelf, not hidden, not anything. Now, my point to this, I'm going to go somewhere with this point. I also received, well, I didn't receive, I purchased the Penelope Golf. Now, I have age 6 years. I have what they call hole number 1. There are 3 that are out in the series. This is hole number 1. This is their golf series. Straight bourbon whiskey finished with American oak staves. And the story is born on a golf course between friends with shared visions to create somewhat remarkable. Crafted with precision, this limited release straight bourbon whiskey finished with American oak staves is designed to play through. Get it? Play through?
I get it.
Hole by hole, note by note, and pour worthy of a round. And so there's 3 in the series. Again, this was just sitting on the shelf.
Now what did it say about somewhat remarkable?
It says create something remarkable.
Oh, I thought you said somewhat remarkable. I was like, well, that's not much of a.
That's not a very good, yeah. But this is bottled in St. Louis, Missouri, which I cannot believe. Bottled by the Penelope Bourbon Bottle Company in St. Louis, Missouri. So
And you know where it's distilled at?
and
St. Louis.
MGM,
MGP.
MGP, yeah.
Multi-grain products.
But hard to find, but on the shelf. And also, I showed you a picture before recording of not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 bottles of Blanton's just sitting on the shelf. Where do I go with all of this? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are into bourbon, if you are liking a few things that you've never got to try because they were ridiculously priced before, with the bourbon market as it sits today, it is your best chance to find something. Either ask your liquor manager or, like me, just find it on the shelf. So,
yeah, it's the bourbon and whiskey industry is changing immensely. And a little bit of information I have here. Would you believe that Kentucky distilleries are currently holding a record high inventory? Would you put the bottle down?
sorry.
Oh my gosh. Currently holding a record high inventory of roughly, get this, 16 million aged bourbon barrels.
I saw the
16
story.
million barrels of bourbon are out there aging as we speak. And that's just bourbon. That's not the whiskey side. So it's like, wow, that is. And because people are not drinking as much, there's Canada is not really putting any of our stuff on the shelves for reasons we won't get into, but I'm sure everybody understands. That is really forcing these. That's why we're seeing stuff like the Old Fitzgerald and the Penelope and things that a year and a half ago we would have never, ever found on the shelf. You're seeing on the shelves now because they've just got a huge, and you see the prices are going down too. So that's good. But you are correct, sir.
So
now is the time to go look.
I saw this story on one of the bourbon sales, bourbon, I forget, one of the people who sell bourbon online. It said that's correct. Kentucky hit an all-time high of 16.1 million barrels per Kentucky Distillers Association, based on the inventory's report as of January, against the population of 4.5 million in Kentucky. That's about 3.5 barrels of bourbon for every man, woman, and child in the state. I wanted to look that up while you were looking, but the catch, Kentucky is the only place in the world that taxes aging barrels, and distillers are paying $75 million this year, up 27% from 2024 and 163% over the last 5 years on assessed barrel values that jumped to $10 billion with a B. Part of the glut is anyways, I'm not going through that. We don't talk about that on the show. And it does talk about why, but yes, you were alluding to it. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But yeah, if you're looking for something, now is the time. There's lots of stuff available. So, very interesting.
There's a couple of other things that are coming up that if you're interested, could probably find at your local larger liquor stores. Bardstown, which I think you're a big fan of Bardstown.
I am. Yes, sir.
They have a Discovery Series, the 2026. It's 112.8 proof blend featuring a 4-month finish in an oak barrel And I mean, they finished it, they put it in a regular barrel, but then they finished it for 4 months in a Willamette Valley oak barrel. And this is part of their Discovery series. That's coming out. Maker's Mark's coming out with a cellar aged, which is a limited blended, limited blend whiskey combining 11, 12, and 14-year-old limestone cellar matured bourbons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Haven Hill bottled and bond double mash, which is a 9-year-old 100 proof blended traditional and wheated bourbon mash build. So basically they're taking their traditional mash build and they're mixing it with their wheated bourbon mash bill and aging it for 9 years. That could be very interesting. And then, look at here, Penelope's Classic Series. They're coming out with a new permanent, accessible everyday line featuring a Kentucky straight bourbon and rye. So those are 4 of the big ones that are in the news, and they're coming out, are coming out or have came out with. So something to go check out. I really am interested in the Maker's Mark, the 11, 12, and 14-year-old limestone cellar mixed. Blended. So,
well, I'll tell you what. I hope to find. You know how I do my thing here. I may have to break my own rule, but if I can't find one, I'd like to taste this Penelope Architects of Golf. I mean, 6-year bourbon, and in the back it says it has notes of vanilla, spice, toast, and fruit on palate. So, what
do you mean you'd have to break your own rule?
Well, I usually
actually drink some of this stuff that you collect.
No, do not put out. This is, that the international laws of podcasting say that we cannot tell any lies. Okay. I caught a 20,000 pound fish today. Oh no, just kidding. Actually, side note, we went to one of the Podfest conventions. If you haven't heard this before, if you're a newer listener, we were told that currently podcasting is not restricted or verified. I could come on here. Yeah, where it's not regulated. We could come on here and say, we have the best podcast for cycling. Yep. By gosh, we do. I agree. So
that one company gave us an award for being the best cycling podcast.
That's right. That's right. We are the best. So, but my rule is, just to be truthful, is usually the ones that you see behind me here, or if you've seen other photographs, I usually have a second one. And if I could move the camera, I would show you the bottom shelf has all my open bottles. And I usually save one for the back and one to open, so I can say, yeah, I know exactly what that's like. But if this is something that only comes my way once, being a golfer, this bottle is actually really calling out to me. I might open it anyway. So
I think you should, because you know what? If you die tomorrow, then you'll never know.
I really hope I don't die tomorrow.
I'm not like wishing that on you. I'm just saying that, you got to live for the moment sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was so tempted the day that I bought it to open it, but I may save it when I see you. Maybe I'll bring it down to Floridians. I think that's the next time I'm going to get to see you. So, all right. I know that we're going to finish the show out with Listener Spotlight. I've checked everything off my list. 1, carry the 4, divided by 12. Wade Paul. I want to answer Wade Paul. He said, can we get a leisure breakaway for the Volta? Maybe we missed it. We didn't do any prep. Maybe next year, if we did do that, I don't know if I would be able to keep up with 2 series in a row. And we're really talking about doing the tour again. So don't want to say no. Wade Paul is a massive contributor to the community. I don't want to let you down. I'm not sure, but if you want, I can here just because I like you.
Welcome to the leisure breakaway.
All right. So, Wade, got your message, noted, recorded, even recorded in voice here. We'll take it into consideration.
Absolutely.
That's all I got on my list. Do you have anything else that you want before I give you the spotlight song?
No, I think I'm ready to provide you with the next listener spotlight.
You're clipped in and you're dialed in. You ride along with us. every spin. Side to side. It's your moment now. Listener spotlight, take a bow.
All right.
Okay, here we go. This town was not named after a person.
St. Louis. Done. Great to see you, buddy. Okay, go ahead.
Actually, I think St. Louis was in fact named after a person. But anyway, we won't get into that. This city's influence on food is no malarkey. It continues to contribute to blockbuster movies. Lumber was a driving factor of the economy in the early 1900s. This city contributed to the moon landing. There you go. Now, I will say, I made this one super easy.
Well, it's not St. Louis.
I am basically if you've listened to the Listener Spotlight and you go, I can never get it, I'm handing this one to you. Very, very. I mean, I'm giving it to everybody. So,
all right,
there you have it. And if you you can either re-listen to this episode or you can catch all the clues on our website under Spotlight if you want to review them later.
I also want to give credit where credit is due to Mr. Jeff. I was at my conference and I had my laptop with me. And he said, hey, I am trying to leave you a fan mail right now, but I can't find the link. And I was like, what? And sure enough, I went to the website, rewrote the code. Yeah, I did not rewrite the code. I told people to rewrite the code. And then uploaded it within, I think, record time. I think 2.5 minutes. So now when you go to the Spotlight page, if you're not a person who wants to leave your voice, like Melanie and Jeff did, that's okay. You can type it in there. Or if you want to leave your voice, very simple. You just hit the record. You get to hear it. It's just like an old answering machine. You don't even have to say, ooh, I did not like how I sounded. I'm going to re-record it. You can record it and re-record it. And then finally, when you agree, then we can have the audio and then we can obviously put it into the show. So if you've always wanted to be on a podcast, now is your chance.
What voice was that?
I don't know. That was actually no buttons or anything. That was just like
thought you might be trying to be Winston Churchill or something. I don't know. It was.
Well, I am getting ready to go overseas, but I don't think they speak like that. So
you're not going to England though, are you?
No. I'm gonna go have some limoncello.
Italy.
Yes. Flying into Rome, lollygagging into Venice, then to Ravenna, probably Ravana. I bet you it's Ravana. We read that you have to roll your R when you say Ravana. It sounds like Count Dracula. I'm like, I want to Rivera. I want the ruffles of Ridge.
Okay. Let's practice that later.
And then we're going around on a cruise and then up to Florence and then to the Leaning Tower of Pisa and then into the Colosseum in Rome and into the Vatican. And then...
You're going to the Vatican?
Yes, I am.
Download the show.
Oh, buddy, I'm not going to lie. I bought... Okay, side note. Normally we do that and then we have this thing where we say it's a great day for a bike ride. But I'm going to tell you something. I bought an eSIM. You know what an eSIM is?
No.
It's an electronic SIM, like your cell phone is a SIM card.
Mm-hmm.
I bought an international eSIM card, $71, 30 days, unlimited data. Buddy, I'm going to tell you something. Every place I go, I am going to download a show.
Well, definitely when you go to the Vatican, you got to download a couple of shows.
Oh, for sure.
Because I want to see what it registers because we've never had anybody from the Vatican before. And I would love to see what it registers And then if on the way home, you could detour the plane down to Antarctica and get that, then that would do all of our continents. So you got a little homework to do.
Buddy, Keith Erickson, my DeBrim wearing friend, and I did a little research project to get Wyoming on the big board. He wanted to be, and we do too. I do too. We do. You and I both do. We couldn't get Wyoming, and he and I were doing some research, and he was coming through. He's built a huge project. If you haven't seen it, I don't know if it's public or not, but on his Facebook, he redid this whole thing. Beautiful oak flooring, kitchenette, camper where the bikes go in. I mean, beautiful thing. He went to Ragbri, but he was coming across Wyoming, and he wrote me and he said, "Hey, you should have Wyoming on the big board now." And I was so excited. I remember I was mowing the lawn and it came across. I was wearing AirPods. Keith Erickson, you should have Wyoming. I stopped mowing. I'm excited. And I could see that the last couple of shows were in Washington. And what we learned was that he had downloaded them in Washington. He didn't play in Wyoming, but because he lives in the state of Washington, which is better than me. I live in the state of confusion. At least he lives in the state of Washington. He downloaded them in Washington. And as he was playing them in Wyoming, we didn't get credit. So he said, "You should have Wyoming. I have the camper van set up here. Let me know." And so he went and wiped out the shows that he had downloaded. He went to his phone and said, undownload or whatever, delete or whatever, or mark as played or whatever. And then he went into the last 3 shows and hit download. Ding, 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 ding. We had a winner. So now I know the secret. So I'm going to have to make sure that I undownload shows, re-download them. And of course, because we know how numbers are with this whole crazy downloads, I'm going to do it a few times just to make sure.
Well, we don't have Antarctica. And there's only a few countries left, most in Africa and in the Pacific Island area, that we have not got listeners from. But the Vatican doesn't count as a country based upon the UN, but it does, it has its separate thing like, Palestine. But we would like to get, and we've gotten Palestine too. So we'd like to get the Vatican. So whatever you can do while you're sitting there waiting for the Pope to come out and bless you, download.
Listen, I don't plan on seeing the Pope or the Pope Mobile or anything like that, but we do have some guided tours. We're pretty excited. I'm not like, yeah, let's go to the Vatican. We're going with a group of 6, as you know, I've told you before. And what we agreed is kind of to do these tours. So they were guided, and then kind of helps us. The part of the tours is it jumps the lines. And so guided. So
well, I think you should wear Cycling Men of Leisure gear while you're at the Vatican and get your picture taken.
Absolutely.
Here's Adam at the Vatican with a Cycling Men of Leisure, but that would be cool.
The gold leaf on the dome, and then I'll be there with a Cycling Men of Leisure cycling jersey just sitting off in the corner. Actually, some very strict rules at a lot of places we're going. Covered arms, covered shoulders for men, covered ankles. My calves and cycling calves have to be covered, and so ladies that we're going with can't wear knee length dresses or something like that. They have to be more than knee length dresses, or I don't think any skin can be showing. Maybe I have to,
Italy, really?
No. In some of the places that we're going in. Croatia and
you're out in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, and then we're going to Albania, and so
you can't wear the Speedo. You got to wear
And I always tease my wife, and after this, I'll tell you it has really been a great day for a bike ride. I tease my wife. I'm going to leave you with Albanian Prince if you don't behave. He'll make you clean, and he'll be happy. And she says, "Okay, good luck." So, hey, listen.
Maybe she's looking at that as a step up. I don't know.
I better behave. But always appreciate being with you. Thank you to our community. Thank you to all our listeners, watchers, viewers. Remember out there, if you want to watch us and our silly shenanigans, you can do that on Spotify. You can do that on Apple, and you can do that on YouTube. We We are definitely viewable if you like to watch us or listen at your normal podcast place. So with that being said, today was a great day
For a
bike ride.
Thank you for riding along with Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. However you travel, find the leisure your way. See you next time.